community everywhere you've been, right? Whether it be within your own neighborhood to college to post college, by whether throwing events or gathering people, you've always put an emphasis on community, but kind of building it the right way, right? I think you're really good at creating the space, but also protecting the space. Where did that click for you? Where like you realized not only did you enjoy bringing people together, but you enjoyed bringing them together in a certain way.
I had enough tryouts with it, with class entertainment,
Yep.
with student government, with quite frankly, the Knicks.
Fair.
You guys hurt my feelings, man. Like, shit is rough. Being a Knicks fan was rough.
Well, you might get Westbrook. Yeah,
I don't
even
know what
still.
that means. Yeah. I guess this is public now. I have had to renounce my Knicks allegiance for peace, because peace is better than being right, and we're never right. So. You kind of learn, you culture is not just the word in regards to the lifestyle. Yep. Culture in regards to sports.
Yep.
Like the Yankees, the Lakers, the Patriots, even though the Giants got them twice.
Mm-hmm.
Like, like building culture, winning culture, mentality, even when things aren't up, is mandatory. So I guess it was foundational in bringing people together, and it's chemistry, actually. Like, I think Barack wrote something in the New York Times after Trump got elected. He was just like, he was talking to his daughters, and that, there's a lot of people are complicated. Mm-hmm. The people are going through a lot of different things. It's not an easy fix. And he talked a little bit about democracy. But what I liked about that talk was that, putting people together is actually more chemistry. It's like a science a little bit. You got to protect rooms. You got to protect people. You got to create safe spaces, as safe as you can. And when you do that, people will be able to see it. It's one of those intangibles that you don't really, it's not a rebound or a point you could check, but it's an intangible there in the room. People know. So I'm grateful that people trusted me enough to create those spaces, and I still want to continue doing that. It's important. And it all starts from the same foundation. You change things, right? Because if you don't evolve, you're extinct.
Yep.
So we've gone from nightclubs in downtown Buffalo to bars on the corner of 52nd and 2nd to basements on the corner of 115 Pleasant to rooftops in Brooklyn to rooftops in Hollywood to riding bikes to the beach. To playing basketball in the gym, to playing flag football. Like, it's all the same. We all practice the same sort of, use the same ingredients. You know what I mean? So,
and that's huge, right? Because I want people out there to understand the importance of not only the who but the how, right? And the how you build your community is so important, right? Because what you're explaining to me is the difference between promoting and actually curating, right? Because if you're having a kickback season or a brunch for us, which are your spaces that you've built, you want to ensure that if you're inviting this person, that they're not going to disrupt what's happening in the space, right? But you also, beyond that, you want to make sure that this person is getting along with this person, or like, I think these two people would be dope, right? So it's like you're taking all of these different. I'm gonna compare everything to soup and to stew, because it's the easiest thing. So you're putting all these things into the soup, right? And like, you may put a little too much salt in it at one time, right? You may put too much garlic in it this time, but if you get the right amount of garlic, or if you get the right clove, you get the right Italian seasoning, you got a really good soup, right? And then everything that you put around it, i.e. the music, i.e. the venue, i.e. the spirits, it all works, right? But the people, like, they're that piece. So knowing who fits where is so important.
Yeah, and it's almost like, I speak in analogies.
Yeah, same.
It's
like soup, sports.
This is perfect. This is a great conversation. I speak an analogy because it's almost like you don't want to hold on to something so tight where no one can get in, but you want to hold on to it tight enough that it still feels like it comes from the foundation you created. Yes. So I try not to script too much of it. If I do have a script, it's just guidance.
Yep. It's a template.
It's a template, right? Yep. And it really comes with that removal of ego, but leading with love. Because leading with fear is more, in the influencer space, exclusive. You can't get this. That doesn't really, it creates a different type of feeling when it's the haves versus the have-nots. You look at like Dark Knight Rises with Bane, where, they were dragging the rich out from the, you know what I'm saying? So inclusive versus exclusive. That was one of the things that when I got into alcohol, I remember working with all the DJs, the heavy hitters, because a lot of them were Ciroc boys, right?
Yep.
Which is great. And I remember that Luck Be a Lady Tonight commercial, everybody getting off the private jet. Fire, revolution. Like, Diddy was selling bottles like CDs.
2010 or 2011?
Man, it was early. It might have been, that sounds about right.
Yeah, it might have been the casino one where they got off the plane.
Exactly.
That was 2011.
Yep, because Ciroc Boys kicked off 2007.
Yep.
And there's something happening, right? There was this transition going from brands being like, look at me. Brands are like, look at me, I'm the man, to look at us. And I think that's where, we can do more together than we can apart. That's where community sort of taps in. And it's like, all right, what are we doing? Like, we can still have our space, but it's, the sensibilities are similar. I don't care about demographics, right? Demographics don't matter, but the sensibilities, the psychographics, like, are we leading with love? Like, those are, again, no scoreboards, no points on this scoreboard, but it's the intangibles, it's welcoming. And you got to create that because you want something to grow. Right. If it's exclusive, you can't grow, or people got to pay their way to get in. Right. That doesn't really
which creates a whole other set of problems.
Yeah, and I'm not saying, and the pay their way to get in is not like you, because it's a business.
Right.
There's the I pay, you pay, they pay. Right. Remember, like, I could throw a party, I'll pay for everything. Everybody comes in, has a good time. I'm broke, but it's a legendary party. You know that well with Henny Palooza, right?
I know it all too well.
Right, exactly. the you pay, I throw a party.
Yeah.
And I charge you to get in, and we go from there. You know that very well as well. Yep. Or they pay, right? I create the space, I curate the room, I curate the vibe and the experience, I bring it to life. I have some type of end goal that a brand would want to be a part of. And I get them to pay for it. Yep. We know that very well as well.
We do.
You know what I mean? So it's like when you go, like, it's almost like the Banana Republic Gap and Old Navy, when you can kind of go through and figure out.
I love all of these references. Like I said, this is
we've been saying this shit for 10 years.
This is a conversation literally that me and him have had for years on the phone. When I'm calling you to go through something about a partnership or like a frustration with a brand, and the fact that I know that's going to translate to everyone who hears this, and like just that, it's valuable. But I didn't want to cut you off.
No. And listen, these are my thoughts based on my experiences. I expect everyone hearing this to take this and level it up. Yep. I know what I know based on I'm a product of my environment.